You guys know what time it is. How's it going, everyone? Happy Friday. College football time with Avry Miguel. Avery, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Miguel. Another great weekend for college football.
Yes, and we're going to talk about is Kansas State versus Kansas. Wildcats, Jayhawks. Kansas State 7-3. They're 5-2 in conference play, 6-0 at home, 1-3 on the road. But this is a team that I'm liking the way they have been performing the last 3, 4 weeks. Um, last week they demolished Baylor, 59-25, and that's the most points in a Big 12 game since 2011. This Kansas State team is for real. They're getting hot at the right time. The Wildcats are one of the 7 Power 5 teams to rank in the top 25 nationally in both offensive defensive scoring. So, and then you have their quarterback who had 12 touchdowns, has only one interception in the last 4 games. So I feel that Kansas State is the healthiest team. I feel that they're the deepest team coming into this matchup. I predict that they will win 24-17 against Kansas. Take it from there.
This is a really great showdown. Kansas State and Kansas. It's interesting because these are another two teams where their college basketball program kind of gets more notoriety. And now their football programs in the past couple of years have been getting national attention as well. Both teams are looking for that Big 12 title. A win will help either team catapult them to face Texas. They will need a little bit of help. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, they also have identical records in conference play. But you kind of put the nail on the head. Will Howard, the Kansas State Wildcat quarterback, over 2,000 yards, 21 touchdowns for the season. He's been on fire this season, and the Wildcats are looking to him to go into Lawrence Saturday and hopefully win the Sunflower Showdown, as it's called. And Kansas State has not lost against Kansas since 2008. But Jason Bean, who's playing for the Jayhawks, he's hoping to stop the Wildcats, catapult the Jayhawks into that Big 12 title picture. And they're going to need a little help from him. Devin Neal rushing over nearly 1,000 yards rushing. Hopefully, he can get that 1,000 yards for the season. He has 10 touchdowns. Also, they're going to need some help in the air with Lawrence Arnold, a great receiver, over 500 yards, 2 touchdowns in the season. But this is really a great showdown. It doesn't show that both teams are. Kansas State is ranked 21st, Kansas is ranked 25th. Yes, they both have identical records, but these teams have played some really great football. And this is one of those matchups where you really want to play close attention, even though there's no playoff implications. Once the playoff expands, look to these two teams in the next couple of years, especially their programs are going to catapult them to success. Fun fact, I was actually in a city called Lenexa, Kansas earlier this summer for an event. And Lawrence, where they are playing this game, is a good 30 minutes west of Lenexa. Really great city, really great town. And if you go to any shop, you're going to see Wildcat or Jayhawk merchandise anywhere. This area loves their college teams. So this is going to be a really great showdown Saturday. And no matter who you're rooting for, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game.
It certainly is, and it feels like this matchup is kind of slept on in a way. Um, and I understand why, but this is a fascinating matchup. So when I was looking at this week's games, I said it has to be something different and something that will catch my attention. And something was just telling me go with this one. And Kansas State, they do have a strong defense and a strong running game. Kansas, I'm not gonna underestimate them. That's why I picked this game to be a 7 point difference. But man, there's something about that Kansas State team that is just telling me that they're gonna bring it. But Kansas, they have to be ready. We know that anyone can be beaten on any given Saturday, like the way you like to put it. But yes, this reminds me just like Duke and North Carolina, where these teams are mostly known for thriving in college basketball, and now they're seeing that in their college football program is paying off as well. So I'm glad that these institutions are thriving in more than just one sport. So, but the Wildcats, or I should say the Jayhawks, they have to come ready. They have to come ready because in the last 3 games, the Wildcats have outscored their opponents 171-61, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and they have won the turnover battle, eight interceptions, so they have to be ready and can't afford to make mistakes.
You're right. The over under is 57. So you're predicting a bit of a low scoring game. I think this is going to be a bit of a high scoring game like last year's was. I want to go with 30-25. And I'm going to give this to the Jayhawks. I'm going to give this to the Jayhawks. Memorial Stadium where they're playing this game is going to go under renovation after the game is over and won't reopen until 2025. The stadium has been open since 1921. So I see the Kansas Jayhawks, sending out Memorial Stadium on a high note and upsetting the Kansas State Wildcats 30-25. I see this just being a high offense, very high scoring event for both teams. And Kansas, they're gonna want to send off their stadium on a high note. They want to propel their team into the Big 12 talk, because with a win, just need a little bit of help from other teams. You have Oklahoma State that has identical conference. You have Oklahoma that also has an identical conference record, and they want to be the ones to, if possible, knock off Texas. So this is going to be a great game. And you're right, it is a bit slept on, because when you talk about these programs, Midwest football doesn't seem, the talk of college football. But these are really great schools, especially in the past couple of years. They know how to get their fans in the game. Watching the game is just absolutely exciting. Let's not forget, last year, the Kansas Jayhawks nearly beat Arkansas, coming back from a 30-point deficit in their bowl game. So the Kansas Jayhawks are a very exciting team. Kansas State, they did get upset by Missouri earlier in the season, but they have all the weapons they need for this to be a really fascinating game. And I see this being, the game to watch on Saturday. And you're right, we shouldn't sleep on this game. You shouldn't sleep on this game. This is going to be a really exciting game for both teams, and to see how it propels both programs finishing out the year.